Hello everyone, welcome back. In this tutorial we are going to see an interesting topic, how to place text precisely on images using Python and Moviepy. We are going to take an image and add text precisely to it at any position that we want. Here you can see top left, top right, center, bottom left, bottom right, and also text in the center with overlay that is longer and spreading over multiple lines as well. If you've seen my previous tutorials on adding subtitles to videos using MoviePy, you would realize that we have done some complex text clip placements on top of video. In case if you're not familiar with MoviePy and text clip earlier, you might find it a little difficult. So that's why this is a beginner tutorial to understand everything about text clip placement using MoviePy. So after the end of this tutorial, you will gain good confidence on how to place text precisely anywhere that you want. Also add background, etc. Let's get started. The link to this collab notebook can be found in the video description. Let's first start with some installations, MoviePy, Image Magic, etc. So if you are not familiar, MoviePy is a Python library to do image and video manipulations. Awesome. Now that we are done with the installations, let's move ahead. In case if this wget doesn't work, download an image from this link and upload it here. But it should work for now. We are downloading the image from Pixabay. Pixabay hosts copyright free images that you can download and use even for commercial use. And let's just open this tab to see the image that we downloaded. So this is the name of the file. We are just placing the image file like this, and we already have OpenCV2 installed. So here all I'm doing is just loading this file and showing it with IAmShow. Awesome. So basically this is an image with width 559 and height 720 pixels, and we are going to use this image as the test image and precisely add text at any place that we want. So for that we are going to use MoviePy. So let's do all the imports from MoviePy, that is text clip, image clip, color clip, video clip, and composite video clip. Basically composite video clip can combine multiple of these clips. And let's come to the important bit. You can create a text clip like this. Basically some variable is called to text clip, the text that you want to give, then some font size, color, font. Of course there are some default parameters as well which you can change. And once the text clip is created, I'm just saving it as image again here, and I'm just showing it back. Now there are few things that we need to understand here. Anytime a text clip is created, it has a definite size, that is width and height. For example, this text clip here with the text top left that is created is 109 pixels in width and 40 pixels in height. Now one thing to remember is that based on how the font size changes and other fonts, this width and height changes. Remember that it's 109 and 40. Let's for example change font size to 48. You can see that we changed to 173 and 63. So depending on the font size, the font, and several other parameters, anything that can change the text clip properties, the width and height of this changes. For example, if you just have longer text, you will see that 173 and 63 will be changed to 459 and 63 because you added more text here. So the main thing to remember is that every text clip has a given width and height, and that changes by changing any of the properties that are directly associated with text clip width and height. Let's get back to our original font size 30. So now you know that once you create a text clip, it takes a width of 109 and a height of 40 for your given text top left and given font and font size. Now let's see how we can place this text on top of the image that we got here. So it's fairly straightforward, which is basically you create a new image clip with the image file that you already downloaded. Then you create a final image that is composite video clip, that is composite of image clip and your text clip called as top left. That's it. We are just going to save this final image and show it back again. And let's run this. Awesome. You can see that the image is appended with top left. So one thing is we did not specify any position to this. So how did it come at top left? Simply in Moviepy the axis starts like this. The horizontal axis is the x-axis and 0 is at the left, and the vertical axis is the y-axis, 0 at top left corner. So if you just try to place something of 109 pixels and 40 pixels without giving any position information, it's going to directly start placing from 0 0, that is top left. Now in order to understand how we can set the position of this text clip relative to the image clip, let's go on to the next section. So the main thing is that now top left is aligned perfectly to the corner because we have our axis here, 0 0 axis of x and y. But if you want to just place this little bit to the right and bottom, so if you want to just add some padding or margin, we can add that as well. Let's see how we can control the position. So for example, padding, of course this could be margin or padding, however you look at it. For example, let's add a padding of 20 pixels. So again, I'm creating a text clip, but now to the text clip, that is top left text clip, I'm doing a set position and there is a tuple that I am giving which is x and y. So that tuple is basically I'm giving 20 pixels and 20 pixels. Now when you do composite video clip, you have the image clip, now you have the text clip that is top left, but it is not just appended from the start of the axis, but rather that text clip has some position properties as well, which is 20 and 20, x and y. That's why relative to image clip, it will be positioned at 20 pixels and 20 pixels starting from there. So if you see, this corner is 20 pixels down and 20 pixels right, and our text clip starts from there. So essentially our text clip of again 109 pixels and 40 pixels starts from this position. So now you have some margin. Now you understood how you can place text clip at the precise position that you want relative to the image clip. Here in our case 20 pixels and 20 pixels. Now there is one more thing that you need to realize, which is there are some position parameters that are already provided by movie clip by default. Let's look at them. So instead of giving a tuple of x and y pixels, you can give something like left, bottom, right, etc. and also get the position precisely. Let's see that. So basically left means here towards the left of the image, right will place the text at the right of the image, and bottom will place the text at the bottom of the image. But usually I don't prefer to use this because if you can precisely control the x and y positions, then you have deeper understanding of the image and you can place precisely than using center, left, bottom and right. That's why let's go ahead and see how we can precisely control the position as well as place them on left, right, etc. Let's run the original setting, which is top left. Great. Now the other thing is we can get the image clip width and height as well. We defined the image clip above, and let's get the image width and image height. So image width is 559 pixels and image height is 720 pixels. Why do we need this? Because we want to precisely place the text relative to the image. That's why we need both the text clip size as well as the image size, that is text clip width and height and image width and height as well. Now let's add text to all corners as well as the center. So you can see that I have code for top left, top right, bottom left, bottom right, center. Let's run this and see how we are doing this. Awesome. You can see that we place text on top left, top right, center, bottom left and bottom right. And we are not using any default position settings given by Moviepy like center, bottom, left. We are actually controlling the position precisely to the given pixels. Let's see how we are doing this. So top left, you understood that text clip top left takes certain amount of x and y pixels. Now place that x and y image or text clip at position 20,20. Since we have the axis starting from 0 x-axis to the left and growing to the right, and also y-axis 0 at the top left and growing as we go to the bottom. This is a 0,0 position. And since we have 20 and 20 pixels, we place top left here. Now what do we do for top right? Top right can be done like this, which is we have the full image width. Now subtract the top right width, that is this width, from the full image width, and also move 20 pixels little more to the left so that we have this gap, that is the x position. So x position is basically image width minus the top right text clip width minus the padding 20 pixels. So that's the x position. So this is the x position where it is starting. And the y position is again just 20 pixels to the bottom. That's why we are adding padding. This is how we are setting the top right text clip position precisely with x and y tuple. Now let's get to the bottom left. So bottom left is at x distance 20 pixels, but y distance is actually something similar to top right but on the y side, which is image height minus bottom left height, that is height of this text clip called as bottom left, minus padding. So again full image height minus the height taken by this minus 20 pixels. So we are starting here and writing vertically. So that's the y position and x position is 20 pixels. Now what do we do for bottom right? Basically we take this component and this component and add them, which is bottom right is actually x position is image width minus bottom right width minus padding. So that's the x position, and y position is image height minus bottom left height minus padding. That's the y position. So we have precisely placed it at y position and x position. That takes into account the image width as well as text clip width, image height and text clip height. Awesome. Now let's see how we can do center. Center is again similar, where we are setting the position. We need to get image width by 2, that's the center position, but we need to subtract the center width text clip position by 2 as well, because we want to start our x not from here, but take this width into account and subtract our x position from the center x position of the image. Similarly for y, that's why we are doing image width by 2 minus center width by 2, that's the x position, and image height by 2 and center height by 2, that's the y position. Now again we are writing it here. Awesome. So we understood how we can precisely control the set position parameter of the text clip and precisely place anywhere we want. Now let's put our focus on center. So let's get back to just having center text. We want to more focus to what happens if the text is extremely long. How do we span across multiple lines, etc. So that is going to be our focus. Now what we are doing is, instead of just having center as the text, let's give some long text, which is, if center is too long to fit, how will it be placed? Will it be cropped or shortened? Let's just give that as the text clip and give the position of center again, set the position again, and let's run this and see. Oh, this doesn't look good, because looks like the text clip width is much bigger than the width of this image. That's why even though we placed it at the center, it's cropped because the text clip is too big. Okay, so if the text is too long, we don't have much control over how it will be placed. It's going out of the image and it is getting cropped. Let's see how we can fix this. So one thing is, when we are creating the text clip, can we control the size of the text clip as well? At least fix the x or y dimensions of the text clip. Let's try to do that. For example, let's give size which is 80% of the original image width. The problem here is that it is going out of bounds. So let's give our text clip size, fix the x size to 80% of the image width, and y size is none, which means it can adjust accordingly. And rest of the things are same. Let's run this and see. Interesting. Since we have fixed the width of this text clip, the height is getting adjusted to fit this width. That's why even it is overwriting the pixel font size, since we have given the y as none, and that y is automatically adjusted. But the problem is that this is getting too short. It's not like the way that we want. So what can we do to this? That is where we introduce another parameter of Moviepy called method is equal to caption. What that means is, given that you have fixed the size, etc., if the y needs to move on to more lines, that is multiple lines, if the text needs to span multiple lines, it will span that. That's what this method is equal to caption does. This is also used in subtitling as well, because sometimes you need to go on to the next line. The other thing is that instead of using method is equal to caption, you can split these individual words, append each word as text clip, and precisely control when you need to move on to the next line, etc. It is little bit advanced, but you have seen it in my previous videos where we move on to the next line if the subtitle is big enough. But nevertheless, our life is easy if we just use method is equal to caption. what this does is it will automatically move the text onto next lines, multiple lines, if it is not fitting within the constraints that we gave, which is, that is, the width of text clip should not exceed more than 80% of the image width. Awesome. So giving method is equal to caption saved us from multiple things, which is text not extending beyond and getting cropped, text not becoming smaller and placed in the middle. We can precisely control. Now one important tip is that you can even control font size. Instead of giving a number like this, you can give it relative to the image, that is image height into 0.1, that is 10% of image height or 5% of image height or image width, etc. So if you want the font size to also go along with the image dimensions, you can modify this number to also be some percentage of image width or image height. Okay, this is great. Now how do we go ahead and actually make things more fancier? That is, perhaps add a transparent background to this text and put this text as overlay on top of that, etc. How do you make it even fancier? Although you can give background color, etc. to the text clip itself, I don't really like that, because sometimes the background color needs to extend beyond the text clip and have some padding or margin, etc. And that's not precisely controlled if you give background color, bg color, etc. parameter. So instead what we are going to do is we are going to use color clip, which will help us achieve that. Let's see how the output is, and then we'll see how we can achieve that. Awesome. So we created a color clip on which the text clip is placed, and we created the color clip such that it is bigger than the text clip size. Awesome. Let's look into the code. So here we have the text clip just like the same way again, center text clip, and we have width and height. Now let's create a color clip that is 10% more than the text clip. You can change this accordingly, maybe 20% more, so 1.2. So the color clip X and Y, that is width and height, are 10% more than the width of center text clip, that is width into 1.1 and height into 1.1, and the color is black, but you can keep any color, maybe gray or maybe blue, etc. And again you can control the opacity of this, because you can see through this color clip and see the bird feathers, etc. even that's because of the opacity. You can control the opacity accordingly. Now what we are doing is we are again setting the position of center, that is text clip, as center. Otherwise you can, instead of center, you can set it at the center of color clip as well, just like the way that I told you, which is color clip width by 2 minus center width by 2, etc. You can give the x and y positions just like we did previously, but for simplicity I am just giving the position as center. What that simply means is, when we are creating the composite video clip with color clip and center, since the center text clip position is placed as center, it is going to go and get placed in the center of this. Since we know that this is exactly 10% more, when we place this at the center, it's going to perfectly fit well. So we are first creating just clip to overlay, that is just this clip, and once that clip is created, what we are going to do is we are going to put this clip to overlay, that is the whole thing, inside this image. As you can see, again you can use center here, but for For more clarity, I am saying this clip to overlay, the position is image width by 2 minus clip to overlay width by 2. Basically, in the whole image, again this clip to overlay should be centered. So the text clip is centered within the color clip, and the whole combination of color clip and text clip is centered within the image. Now simply you can change this to, for example, bottom, and you will see that the clip to overlay moves to the bottom of the image, as you can see here. But let's bring it back to the position that we want. Awesome. So in this tutorial you understood precisely how you can place text anywhere that you want. Remember that the axis starts with 0, 0 at the top left. You can precisely get the length of each text clip and control where you want to place them with padding, with margin, etc. And you can also see how we can add some background overlay, etc. And we know how we can actually make the text span multiple lines as well if you want. The thing is that now with this information you can kind of create dynamically APIs to overlay text over images, dynamically creating blog post images by picking an image from Pixabay API and placing the title on top of it, etc. So you can even create an image editing API, etc. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.